then is that the best time? Okay, the best time to like tunnel, first off, is it the right call? If you're being serious, is it the right call? And then the second time, if you're being like chill, but you tunnel if the game's getting too close, it's a feel. Let's say you're going off of like, hey, Red, I want to play chill, but I want to win some games too. Like, I want to win my game, so I don't want to be like tunneling all the time. I'm like, okay, so you probably need to learn like the feel of the game. Like, okay, what do you mean? So like the feel of pressure. One of the things that you can do in this game that is like a feel of pressure. If you're wandering around the maps and you're at 5 gens, a newer player who has no idea about pressure in games or anything would be like, oh, you have all the pressure in the map right now. But if I were to tell you that 4 of those gens are at 70%, all the pressure, like the survivors have all the pressure. Because the moment those start popping, like your game flips. The game is not based off of gen count. That's not pressure count. Pressure for survivors is gen progress overall. How much gens are being worked on. Like instead of thinking of 5 gens need to be completed, think of like 500% needs to be completed. And this can give you an idea of like maybe how much pressure is out on the map. This is why sometimes people be like, oh my god, Red, he won at like 3 gens. It's like, yeah, I won at 3 gens, but 2 of the gens are 90%. I won closer to 1 gen, not 3 gens. So when you're gauging pressure, if you're playing on the chill play side, which I say chill most of the time because, again, most of these games aren't very serious. If I see a serious group come into my lobby, like they got clan tagged up or whatever, I might swap to a more serious because I really enjoy the more competitive aspect and the really hard games. But if it's more of like we're going to chill until I kind of get the idea of the pressure, one, that can always backfire on you. There have been games I have lost to groups that I probably shouldn't have lost to, simply because I was like, oh, I'm gonna be nice. I'm not gonna make the right call here, 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 and here because I feel like I have enough pressure in the game. Does that mean the group is better? No, not necessarily, but it might also you still take an L. You still took the loss because you lost pressure, or they had more pressure than you anticipated. But if you're playing chill, you want to know where the pressure is in the game, and that's more of a game knowledge, game sense thing that comes with time, and if you're looking out for it. You'll also get this feel if you're not running a lot of slowdown. Killers who run quadruple slowdown, they are very prone to running into this problem where, okay, I see Red running no slowdown for a few games. That looks like fun. I'm going to do it. Now, they're used to 4 slowdowns. And then they hop into 0 slowdowns and make all the same mistakes that they normally would make. The slowdowns used to back up their mistakes and give them a lot more pressure in the game that they had. Now, they have no really allowance for pressure, and they're running no meta, and then they're saying, oh my god, I'm being gen rushed. Not being gen rushed, this is the real pressure of the game overall, especially if you're making mistakes. And then they go back to running 4 gen slowdown. So like these are just some ideas of like things that can happen in the game. Hopefully like my little Red talk here gives some insight to how that works. At the same time, I mean, if I'm playing chill, I sometimes like to have slowdown as well. Like, I don't mind running 1 or 2 slowdowns and like 2 chase perks. That's really fun. That's really balanced, and it'll give you some room for mistakes or room to be more chill. You can also go the route of running pure chase, but then you need to realize like, hey, I probably shouldn't be as chill if I still want wins. If you don't care about wins at all, do whatever the hell you want. It doesn't matter. You're playing for fun. Just don't be expecting that I'm playing chill all the time. I don't care about wins, but I want to win every game. I see a lot of that from a lot of people, some that have been in the chat, some that have been in my YouTube comments, where it's like, hey, Red, I just play for fun, and I'm getting gen rushed every game. Why does it matter? If you're playing for fun, and you're not playing to win, what they really mean is, Red, I want to bring what I want to bring, make as many mistakes as I possibly can, and still win the game. Can't have it both ways. Hey, Red, are you planning on doing any challenges sort of like Spooky Loops does on the killer challenges? I guess it depends on what you mean by killer challenges. I was originally planning to be part of the hardcore killer series with Dowsy, and the only reason I was really interested in that series is because it was multiple killer mains all doing it at once and seeing who could kind of... It was like a competition between killer mains. That was a competition. Not to be that guy, the hardcore killer challenge isn't really that difficult. You normally start with no MMR, so you start on like a fresh account. So MMR is not a thing. You then have to go against basically babies who don't know anything about the game for like 10 of your games, maybe up to 15, 20 of your games, because you don't hit high MMR until like what, game 30, game 35 if you're winning straight. And it's like, okay, unlock Clown, you now have Pop. Unlock Plague, you have Corrupt and Pop, you win the game. Like, you can win hardcore pretty much with Corrupt and Pop. You really don't need all your killers. And now you have 30-something killers. That's why whenever I do challenges, and we'll be doing this one again, I'm doing, like, all random perk Wraith. Every game is random perks, random add-ons. And there are add-ons that fuck up the killer. And there are perks where you could just have no perks for basically a game. That would be a little bit better. You know, a challenge that'd be nifty, that'd be really difficult, would be... Here's a challenge that would be damn near probably impossible. I don't know if someone could do it. It would be no perks, all the killers. So you have to win one game with every killer. You have no perks. Okay? And you are not allowed... you are not allowed to tunnel out. So what this means is you can't double hook a survivor. Like, that would be your ruling. That would make the game immensely difficult and probably really impossible to do over the course of, like, 30-something games. Like, so you're going to take a loss. Someone's going to be proficient on gens. Oh, and you have to start it at high MMR. You cannot start it at fucking a new account. I think Odds already did that. No, Odds did not do a no perk. He did an all perk. Like, that would be the thing. So there's numerous guidelines. I think Odds did a no tunnel streak, and that will cost you games too. But yeah, no perks. First of all, the reason why I don't do something like this is no perk videos and no perk gameplay is like the most boring shit ever. People don't like to watch it. I've got lots of videos on my channel that are no perks, and they all perform horribly. People love builds. People like close games. That is true, and that's a good way of getting it. But the challenge is fun. It'd be fun for like a one-time video, but you'd be surprised at how well it doesn't perform. Like, people always say, like, hey, Red, do no perks and upload those videos. It's like, okay, I do it, and there's a win, and, like, no one cares. Like, that's, like, yeah, I might have to tunnel more, but, like, if you take away, like, the tunnel aspect, take away the perk aspect, then make me do it with every single killer, I'm bound to fuck up. That's gonna be hard. And there's a lot of luck. A lot of those challenges, like, the Odds had the all perk challenge. The all perk challenges, the no perk challenges, and the all random perk challenges all require a lot of luck. It's like, what do you mean? Like, you know, every game has a little bit of luck. Every game has a little bit of luck, but if I was going to give someone 50 games and they had to bring all random perks, there's a lot of luck at play. First off, you're really hoping that all 50 games don't have a really solid Swift. Because if you get a really solid Swift and a really bad build, that Swift is going to beat your teeth in. And it will not even be close. Builds do matter against top-notch Swifts, but you're only going against top-notch Swifts 1 out of like 50 games. So you normally can get really lucky and avoid those top-notch Swifts. You can get lucky and avoid most top-notch Swifts. Like, it happens. Now, then the second problem is good Swifts. You'll see a good Swift 1 in 5, 1 in 10 games. So that Swift, you gotta worry about, but they're gonna make a lot of mistakes. You're gonna make a lot of mistakes. It'll be okay. And then last is just hoping you don't get a bad build, that like a bad random build that bricks you. So for Wraith, this might be a basically dead perk game, so none of the perks really help. Or it could be something like we had this that ended our last all random perk race streak. It was Distressing, Blood Warden, like, and 2 perks that didn't matter at all. Like, they had no impact in the game. And we had add-ons for our tear radius is always active, and then, like, whenever we break something, we come out of cloak. But we didn't have brutal or anything to combo with it, so we were just always fucked. It was horrible. And we almost won. It's like, okay, was the group really, really good? Nope. The build just fucks you sometimes. And, like, that's the fun of all random perk streaks. But there's the RNG is super massive into those. Okay, that's my TED Talk. Sorry, guys.